Hello, good evening, good time, all of you. Let me invite my guest.
Jai Shankar, good evening,
Jai,
Aishwarya. What a pleasure.
Jai
Hmm.
Shankar uncle, very good evening.
So nice to connect to you.
Same here. It's indeed a pleasure for me to
Yeah,
connect to you and
yeah,
also bring you to several audience.
yeah. It'll be a pleasure. Pleasure is all mine.
Yeah. Um, so we'll see if there are few people connecting. Um,
Yeah.
so until then, I will just give. I'll share on what we are doing, what we'll be doing today.
Right,
Um,
exactly.
So today we are here. I have invited Sudhir uncle to share his perspectives on mistakes. So I believe that we all derive some definition for several words through our life experiences. So I have taken this as a project, an inspiring project, and last month we did on trust, and this month we are doing it on mistakes. So I'll be asking some of the questions that's coming up to Sudhir uncle, and he will be sharing his perspectives from his experiences. Because Sudhir uncle is someone who is also a business person. He's into textile industry. He's doing business, and he's also spiritually aligned. So I see him as a person who is both worldly and also connected to the spiritual world. Who actually helps many people to have the spiritual understanding and live in the world with so much joy, and experience bliss, be grateful, and so many things he does. So, so I'm very inspired with the work Sudhir uncle is doing and has been doing, and he's a revered speaker, and he's being giving talks to college children, college students, and school children, many people. So I'm one of your all-time admirer, uncle.
Thank you. Oh, wow. Thank you so much.
So over to you, uncle. Would you be able to introduce yourself? The kind
Oh,
of work that
sure.
you're doing.
Sure. A few sentences like to say. My my one and only introduction is that I am the disciple of Param Pujya Swamiji Shri Ishwaranand Giriji Maharaj. He is an illustrious monk in the Shankari Parampara, the Parampara of Adi Shankaracharya. So I've been very blessed. Right from my college days, I used to visit him. Of course, I came because of my parents, indebted to my parents. Family got associated with Swamiji. But in my college, Swamiji used to take youth camps at Mount Abu, and not only Mount Abu, even near Ahmedabad, elsewhere also. So late 70s and early 80s, those are the times. And I still have the notes. I still have those notes with me, and I was so blessed that Swamiji used to take the classes, and he used to teach us youth. He was always very focused on youth. Right from 80s, just imagine so many decades. And I was very lucky, not only listening to Swamiji's discourses and his works, studying his works. Apart from that, long walks with him, personal talks with him, then correspondence with him. And apart from that, observing him, the way he talked with people, the way he interacted, the way he managed things, the way he lived, the way he celebrated life by living. I was a very keen observer from before, and that had a very deep impact on me. In 2011, Swamiji suddenly tells me I remember that day, suddenly tells me, Sudhir, it is time for you to give back. That is the way you should speak. And I said, yes, Swamiji. Then I thought, okay, yes, but what? And how? But no, now you have to take camps. So I had never, no experience of that, but Guru Shakti works. So 2011, I remember there was a first camp at Mount Abu. The topic was youth and creativity. After that, every year, keeping camps at Mount Abu, we at different topics. We had life values, we had life building, we had successful living, and beautiful topics we had. Then we had one reorientation of life, a mental therapy that we had at the banks of Narmada. We had joy of living we had at Abu and also in Delhi. And that is the how it went. And then Aishwarya, I remember we had one nectar in life. So nectar in life is the camp
Yes.
when Aishwarya, and dramatically she came to Mount Abu for the camp. I can never forget that. And she was, of course, the best student there. And Aishwarya brought with her her little nectar. She brought with her Sanyukta, her little nectar, and then Varun was there. So a complete nectar family was there. So that is how we associated, and the camps are still going on today. So the camps are very, very important, in which we have different activities. I'll not go deep into it, but the camps are the shivirs, we call them shivirs. So we try to give them an orientation. We try to make them introspect. They are no dictates. There are no do's and don'ts. They make them think for themselves, introspect. We make them self-awareness, self-appreciation, self-analysis. And they have to now then decide on what path they have to proceed. So that way, having camps, and then recently we had a camp, Life is a Dialogue.
Oh, wow.
Jeevan ek Samvad. It was beautiful. It went fantastic. We had
What
100
a beautiful
students.
topic.
Yeah, we had 100
Uh,
students this time. Mind blowing, mind
mhm.
blowing. 100 students. We have trekking and we have yoga, we have group discussions, and we have games and whatnot. We have all. It's a fantastic experience for me and a learning experience for me, basically. Every camp I'm learning all the time. I'm basically a student myself. And whatever I study, I research, I try to share with the students. Because students are right from age of 11, 12 and right up to 25. So the young children should connect. So that is the challenge. And because of the camps, the children, their parents, they connect to me. So end up counseling them also. They come for counseling. It's all Guru Shakti working. And then workshops are there. We have an ashram in Mount Abu. At the base of Mount Abu foothills, we do camps there. We do here in Ahmedabad also. I am living in Ahmedabad, by the way. So Ahmedabad also near Gandhinagar, we have a beautiful ashram, Shankaralok. We do a lot of youth camps and workshops there also. And of course, schools and colleges. So this is a passion. This is a passion of just connecting with children. Now we have a village near our place. So 3 days back, they had that Praveshotsav. So there were around 250 students. So the principal said, why don't you come and address the children? So they were, not the first standard children, they were entering, and there were students,
Oh.
village children, 250, right from first standard to 8th standard. It was such a beautiful experience connecting to them. So that is
And
my
your strength is you connect with everyone, irrespective of the age, because
no, no.
you consider yourself as a learner.
Yeah,
You easily connect because you're always open, you're always curious
yeah, yeah,
to know things, to learn things.
yeah,
I think that
yeah,
makes you
yeah.
connect to so many people.
Yeah, our Swamiji always said, always Swamiji's, one of his wise sayings was, always be a lover and a learner.
Hmm.
Always love and always learn. So this is the way to live life. Try to do
Hmm.
that. So nice connecting to Aishwarya, and a lovely topic. It would have been a
Yes.
mistake if I had not connected to this topic. So you want
Yeah.
my take on mistake, I suppose.
Yes, yes.
Correct.
It is
Okay, okay.
also, what I like the most in Sudhir uncle is he comes up with a huge smile on the face, always. And we vibrate, and we know there is something called mirroring. We always
Yeah.
mirror the other person's energy. So whenever you
Actually,
are around Sudhir uncle, you will be all smiling, grinning, a huge.
yo, today I am mirroring you.
Oh. We can say that to each other, and I'm thankful.
So my
Okay.
first of all, my prostrations at the lotus feet of my Swamiji, my Guru, and now we can start. We can start our dialogue. Yeah,
Sure, uncle. I mean, I would also like to, uh, you know, receive the blessings of Swamiji and also
yeah,
your blessings, and then we will begin.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Um, so we'll begin with the first question of your perspective on mistakes. Generally, from your
My
experience. Yeah.
From my experience, my perspective of mistakes.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's the most valid question. I think I'll start with my own story. Like you said, from my
Mm,
perspectives, it has to be connecting with my experience.
yeah.
In childhood, I was a very bad stammerer. I could hardly
Mm-hmm.
speak. I could not speak a single sentence. I could not even speak my name. To the extent I was quite good in studies, I would be knowing the answers in my class, but I would be literally hiding my face. Suppose the sir asks, or the teacher asks, and tells me to get up and speak, what will happen? All the students are going to laugh at me. So that traumatic, in a way, I'll say, that phase of childhood was there. Why I'm referring to it? Because it connects with our topic very much. At the age of 14, nearly 14, 15, my father took me, he was searching for a speech therapist. He took me to a speech therapist. I went there, and the speech therapist was there. He looked at me, he talked a bit. I haltingly talked to him. He checked me up and all and said, fine, so you can come, you'll become okay. I said, no, I'm flawed. I know I'm flawed. I've seen elders, I've seen my father's friends. Even they are stammering and stuttering. I know that is in my store. That is how my life is going to be. He said, no, you are not flawed. Yes, you are committing a few mistakes, but the mistakes don't define you. The mistakes, I said, what do you mean? See, I can't speak. I said, yeah, but that is not ingrained in you. There is a fault in your speed of speaking. There is a fault. There is a fault in your breathing patterns. There is a fault in the way you pause. You don't pause. There's a fault in the way you give stresses to particular letters. There's a fault in the way you just speed up, try to finish up sentences. There's a fault where you are too much obsessed about the other person's reaction. Those are the mistakes you are doing. We just rectify the mistakes, that's all. And that is what he did for 1 year. And that life changing. I realized that we take mistakes to define us. We take mistakes to, yeah, I am that mistake. Then I realized, no, they were the small mistakes and they had a purpose in life. Every mistake has a purpose in life. There is a meaning behind it. Once I came in college, in school where I was an absolute recluse and not talk to anyone. In college, I started taking part in elocution competition and debates and getting some prizes and trophies. But again, in one competition, I made a mistake. There's one competition, and there was a very big competition. It was the youth festival of Bombay IIT Powai, called Mood Indigo. Oh, I said, what a big competition. I have to do it the best. So I went to some genius in my college and I got the speech written by him. And there I mugged it up. And there at the stage, just after 3 sentences, I forgot the entire speech. I came back, of course, it was shattering. I came back. Again, I introspected. It is a mistake. It does not define me. It is teaching me a lesson. So, mistake. So, from that day onwards, I decided, yeah, I will take references. I'll study. I'll do that. But the entire speech has to be in my language. It has to be me. Not only speech, whatever I express. So that has become kind of my nature. Whatever I express in my life, that has to be true to me. Then I'll never hesitate. I'll never stumble. What it taught me was mistakes happen with everyone. I think I've got some quote. Yeah, I've got a quote by Einstein. Anyone who has never made a mistake has never tried anything new. Unless you make a mistake, you think about it, you introspect, you analyze the mistake and your response to it, and then that helps you to evolve. And George Bernard Shaw is my favorite author. A life spent making mistakes is not only more honorable, but more useful than a life spent doing nothing. Doing nothing. We can't afford to do nothing. We need to take risks. So these mistakes, introspect. I like to quote Swamiji. Swamiji says, life lived without introspection will cease to be an education. God has given this life as an education to educate us. If life is lived without introspection, the entire Gita is about, the Lord starts with that, with Arjuna. Look within. Arjuna, he puts down his bow and arrows and says, no, I'm not going to fight. I am a failure. I am this, I am that. No. Shudram Hriday Dorbalyam Tyaktvo Tishta Parantapa. You leave all that, your weaknesses and your poverty of mind, impotency of mind. You get up because you are Shurveer, you're that. So that comes only by introspection. But that introspection, again, we make a mistake many times. When we make a mistake and we do introspection, what happens is, you start introspecting, oh, I'm very bad. Oh, how could I make this mistake? How could I do this? I am guilty. I am guilty. I am very bad. And then some people also, they help you to make you feel all the more guilty. I am guilty. Why did I do that? Why? That blame game does not happen only with others. The blame game happens even with ourselves. So again, Swamiji, everything I fall back to Swamiji for everything. Swamiji says in Hindi, Atma Vishleshan, self-analysis. By self-introspection, you do self-analysis. आत्म विश्लेषण का मतलब यह तो नहीं कि रोज सारी गंदगी को खोदते रहो. Self-introspection, self-analysis does not mean that you go on digging your dirt within. The dirt means your mistakes. You go on, oh, I made this mistake. Oh, I am guilty. Oh, I am guilty. No. हाँ, प्रकटतया कोई गलती हुई हो. You made some mistake. Okay. तो उस गलती को समझ लो. Understand your mistake. Have an understanding. Analyze the mistake where you have gone wrong. और फिर उस गलती को नहीं करने का निश्चय कर लो. You decide not to commit the mistake again. First you analyze the mistake, analyze the reasons for making the mistakes. Think about what you're going to do next, that you don't commit the mistakes, and then decide, yes, I will not make this mistake. Bas ye paryapt, this is enough. This is your prayashchit. So when we make mistakes, we should not get disturbed. We get into a guilt trap, all the time. So I would like to share something more with you. Once that happened to me, I was in a deep, I was very disturbed. And when I'm disturbed, to whom do I go? I go to Swamiji for anything. So Swamiji, I like to share, Swamiji wrote to me. It connects, it would help everyone.
Yeah.
Dear Sudhir, why are you so adhir? Adhir. Adhir means restless. Adhir
Okay.
means restless.
Okay.
Swamiji used to play with words, so that I got the habit from
Okay.
him actually.
We can sense it totally.
So, dear Sudhir, why are you so adhir? And this I will tell to all my youth, all my friends. Why are you so adhir? Why are you so restless? Why are you so disturbed? Cast off this worldly veneer. This bark, it is just a bark on the tree. You feel you have done something bad. If you go inside the tree, it is all sap, beautiful nectar is there inside. Seated in you is the seer. The seer is the God. Cast off this worldly veneer. Seated in you is the seer. Meditate upon the omniscient, the ancient, the ruler of the whole world, who is minuter than the minutest, the supporter of all, of form inconceivable, effulgent like the sun, and beyond the darkness of ignorance. Kavi Puranam Anushasitaram comes from Bhagavad Gita, 8th chapter. So Swamiji says, in such situations where you're down in the dumps, you feel very, very bad about yourself, you feel guilty about yourself, you're disturbed about mistakes committed by you, your people start making you feel guilty. Invoke the source of divine light within you. Invoke the source of divine light within you. You will never fail to be uplifted, purified, and comforted. There is no other sure method for emancipation. I'll simplify it in a short meditation. I'll request you to close your eyes. Just a 2 to 3 minutes meditation. I'll explain that in a meditative form. So now you bring your mind to your breath. Let your breath be very gentle, very slow and deep, but without any strain. Very rhythmic, like the waves of a calm ocean. Just focus on the breath. Now, feel the presence of the divine in whatever form you have Shraddha in. Feel the presence of the divine in the innermost core of your being. Feel his loving presence as your Ishta, or as a light, as a flame, or as a 1,000-petal lotus, or as the space. In any form or formless, feel the presence of the divine. Now, think of the mistakes you have committed. Do not brood over them. Do not brood over your weaknesses, your inadequacies. Just think of them and offer them at the feet of the divine. Pray to the divine. O Lord, O Mother, I seek your forgiveness. I know you are Karuna Sagar, you are Daya Sindhu. I am your child. Please forgive me for the mistakes I've committed. And I commit myself to treat the mistakes as a learning lesson, as stepping stones. I commit myself to learn from them and try my best not to commit them again. Feel a divine light, a warm light full of love and radiance spreading from the center of your and touching each and every pore of your being, engulfing you in that love and warmth and compassion, the divine compassion. Slowly bring your mind back to your breath and open your eyes. It's very
Thank you. Thank you so much, Uncle, for wonderful
yeah,
meditation. So I had this question
yeah,
when you
yeah,
were sharing,
yeah, yeah,
in the letter that Swamiji wrote to you. So there was this
yeah,
mention that whenever you
yeah,
feel that you have committed mistakes, evoke, raise above and connect to the divine. Connect to the
correct.
light within.
Yes,
So
yes.
I was about to ask you this question, when you are so drowned in guilt, how do you really, connect to the divine within? It's very difficult. And then the meditation beautifully answers. Um, uh,
Exactly. That is the answer.
yeah.
That is the answer.
Hmm.
That is the only way. The only
Yeah.
way to open your inner eyes is to close your outer eyes and meditate. We need to
Yeah.
contemplate on the divine. The divine is always with us, always in
Yeah.
us. That is the way we
Mm-hmm.
have to do that.
Beautiful, uncle. And you shared so many wonderful insights.
Yeah,
The way you felt that you were flawed, and
yeah,
how the therapist really helped you
very much,
to
very
understand
much.
that you're not flawed. You're not those flaws, and
Exactly,
you are different. You are that,
exactly.
the
Yeah,
divine within. So just connect,
yeah,
and we will
yeah.
rectify small mistakes here and there, and
Correct,
then you
correct,
feel
correct.
that wholeness within.
Yeah, yeah.
So it was very inspiring. And I also admire the way how the therapist handle you delicately
Yeah,
as a
very
child.
delicate. Wonderful. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. I was a child, just
yeah,
14 years old, just imagine.
yeah, yes.
Just 14 years old. He handled me beautifully, beautifully.
And I'm very grateful that you happen to have such beautiful people
Yeah,
around
yeah.
you, and that is the reason you're so beautiful now. I feel.
So beautiful of you to say that.
And that's why I feel blessed to have connected
Yeah,
to you.
thank you.
So
Thank you so much.
because
Thank you. It's all Guru's
yeah,
grace. It's all Guru's grace. Yeah, it's all Guru's grace.
thank you, uncle. Thank you for sharing your perspective.
Yeah.
Uh, so let me just move on to my next question.
Yeah, yeah, sure, sure.
Mm, so usually in the society, it is mistake is deemed as something um, done out of something wrong, something bad, something never to be committed. When you, even in schools or in any education institution, if you have committed a mistake, then you are seen a different person. You will be given with punishments. Uh, mm, usually you are not encouraged to do mistakes. In non-violent communication, my mentor used to repeat this every now and then. Do mistakes, but make sure you do different mistakes.
Correct. Absolutely. What it means is the earlier
Do
mistake
not
you've
repeat
done,
the mistakes.
you learned from it. You learned from
Yeah.
it. So you have to do a new
Yeah.
mistake. The new mistake, you have tried something new. So new mistakes are going to happen. If you
Yes.
don't learn from a mistake and you repeat the mistake, that is not going to help matters. Yeah. That
Yes.
that reminds me of a beautiful story. Everything reminds me of stories. So our Swamiji used to say a beautiful story about this. What happened was one home, one lady was ironing clothes, and okay, and then she got some, her baby was crying from the other in the other room, so she just left in a jiffy and went in the other room. In the meantime, the phone rang, and the tring 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 tring, and our husband, he had a few extra pegs and he was all deep slumber. Suddenly, so he just got over. What happened? Dream. So he just picked up and put his ear. But by mistake, he picked up the hot iron. And then he put it here. So this right ear got burnt. I said, what? Oh God, what? Oh my God. And then he's just crying. And he just put it in. And again, he was lying and he was just, then put down the banged the receiver back on the phone. And he banged and again started ringing, but that fellow wanted to talk, whoever was it. Again started ringing. Again he picked up. Again he picked up, and his left ear got burnt. He again picked up that hot iron. He repeated his mistake. Why? He was drunk, and he was sleeping. It is symbolic of lack of alertness. So the mistakes will be a learning block. You learn from mistakes only if you're alert, only if you're a learner. If you even refuse to learn, then no one can help you. God also cannot help you. So you're right. In NVC, like you said, you have to commit new mistakes. You're not allowed to commit the same mistake. Very true.
Yeah, a wonderful story. You know what?
Yeah.
I just wanted to, I think around 5 o'clock in the evening, I wanted to request, I don't know, ask you, Uncle, will you be able to, bring in stories, now that it is happening.
Oh God.
So I'm very glad about that. And it also reminds me of the Bernard Shaw quote that you said.
Exactly.
A life full of mistakes is worthy of not doing anything.
Yeah, exactly.
So in that sense, my question is, so when he or she or the person who has committed the mistake has to be punished, so they learn a good lesson. So the role of punishment, is it really necessary after the mistake to realize, or the realization will happen naturally, eventually? How do you see punishments, the role of punishment when mistakes are made?
Do you correct it? You are referring to family, or you're referring to like occupational place or a society, or because different situations would warrant a different response, I suppose. But basically, I'll tell you.
Basically, what I mean is a person to person, because you have anything to say?
See, the spiritual principle is of upeksha. My voice is coming to you?
So I have muted myself,
Yeah.
so there is some noise here. So,
Okay, I understand. So the point is, the spiritual principle is principle of upeksha. Maitri, Mudita, Karuna, Upeksha. They're the basic four principles, basic four dharmas, which are always elaborate upon in each and every camp. Because Swamiji says, like in South we have the temples, like we have four doors. If you see you go to Meenakshi temple or any big temple, there's one door to the courtyard, then you go inside, again there is a gopuram, then again inside there's a door, and then in the Garbhagriha, the main sanctum sanctorium, again you have to enter that door, you have to be in a dhoti, and there are a lot of rules and all. So there are four doors before you can connect to God. Similarly, talk about that in every camp. So answering your question, upeksha, upaiksha, overlook. We need to do that. We cannot react like that. We need to be little patient. We are always judging the other person. We can't do that. Are we ourselves sarvagun sampan? We always want to judge the other person. We don't see our own faults. This is not done. We can't do that. We have to nudge. We have to. I always talk to you also about the sandwich principle. And I talk about that. I use it everywhere. I use it in my business. I use it in my family, in my counseling also. Couples also. Couples come to me. They have their fights. I tell them, use the sandwich principle. Parents come, the children are not answering my listen. I said, use the sandwich principle. Children come, humko, parents ko patana, okay, use the sandwich principle. Simple as that. We need to use the sandwich principle. The sandwich principle is very simple. It needs a lot of patience. It needs a lot of patience, a lot of inner courage, and a lot of faith in yourself and in the other person. The sandwich principle will answer basically, I think, all your questions. The bread, sandwich, the first bread is, and I think it will connect to your NVC also, non-violent communication, you talked to me about earlier. The first bread is the most important. The first bread is where you are empathetic towards the other person. Though the person has made a mistake, we try to understand the other person's perspective. We try to literally become a lawyer for him. We step ourselves in that person's shoes. If that person has made a mistake, maybe he is misguided or he has some other disturbance within, or he or she is suffering from something we don't know. Or it could be inadvertently because of our own vyavahara. We ourselves may have said something or done something in the right way, but that may have been misunderstood by the other person. We don't know. So many situations happen. Or that person may have some family problem. The servant is working, and in his village, suppose there is some very big problem. We don't know about it. And the servant makes a mistake, and we start shouting at him. It's not done. So the NVC, we tell the servant first, देखो तुम हमेशा बहुत अच्छा काम करते थे, सब करते थे, अभी भी ये हुआ, तो maybe there is some reason behind it. And suppose he is explained, तो you repeat his or her arguments. Okay, I understand your point of view. That is the most important first bread. Then comes the main filling. Then you say, okay, in all humility is most important. In life, humility and honesty. Without that, you're just a living corpse. Humility and honesty. With these two things in your heart, with full humility, you say, okay, I may be wrong, but see, I feel it this way. You tell your things in a very humble, soft manner. Whether it is with your child, whether it is your mother-in-law, because I get a lot of issues about mother-in-law. But many times you can't do this with mother-in-law. The best is to keep quiet then, actually. Best is monam. Just keep quiet. Silence is the best remedy. And then the nichika, then the next bread, the lower bread, at that time, okay, we can talk about it again. What do you think about it? So the next bread is you keep the communication door open. So answering you we should not be in a correction mode all the time. And suppose you have to correct, Swamiji's quote, when you are correcting somebody, Swamiji says, when you are correcting somebody, are you bubbling with love for him? When you are correcting somebody, are you bubbling with love for him? And that bubbling will come in your voice. It will come in your eyes. Our स्वामी जी वो डांटते थे कभी तो हमको तो ऐसा लगता था बहुत आशीर्वाद मिला है. One Mahatma, I remember one story I read, one Zen master was there, and the pupil told, Master, you scold people, they make mistakes, you scold them, you correct them, but they don't feel bad at all. Why is it so? The master said, see, there's a beautiful garden and delicate flowers are growing in it. And there's a hailstorm and there is torrential rain. What will happen to those plants? And suppose there is just rim-jim, droplets of rain. What will happen? Even in that is rain, this is also rain. That is also correction, this is also correction. This correction with love, kindness, compassion. I tell you, spiritual is the most practical thing. What is spirituality? Spirituality is that which makes you most practical, which makes you live life fully and most beautifully every day. Spirituality is what? Whatever makes you connect to the spirit in the other person, which is a manifestation of the divine spirit. What will connect you? Love, kindness, compassion, forgiveness. Not simple, apparently simple. This is what spirituality is all about.
I'm awestruck with the response that you gave on this, and it is all like, you know, like a beautiful song that I'm listening to whenever I listen to you.
Thank you so much. Very gracious, very sweet of you. Yeah.
And the sandwich principle, whenever you witness, some mistake committed by yourself also, I think, and even when you witness a mistake done by someone else, the way that we handle is much more important.
Exactly.
Than correcting. So,
yeah.
So I think you all meant to say you meant to say connection before correction. So if
exactly,
you are
beautifully
intending
put.
to correct,
Exactly, and just nudging. Like that. वो कुम्हार होता है. The potter. Like he makes those small pots, small things he makes on the potter wheel. You know how he shapes it? He just nudges it. If he does not nudge, it won't get a shape. But if he, starts correcting and starts hitting it hard, again it will be deshaped. But it gives him nudging so lovingly. I love to watch a potter. Just watching a potter is one of the most spiritual experiences of life. See how he does it. Very meditative. So that is what we should do in mistakes also. With ourselves also. When we ourselves commit mistakes, don't hit yourself, don't slap yourself. But you have to nudge, because you cannot commit the same mistake again. So that nudging is very important. That is where the mother comes. That is the mother's role. That is a very important role of the mother. Parents' role is very important.
I am taking the keyword nudging. Love. And when you are correcting, check with yourself if you are bubbling with love. So that
exactly.
I'm taking away.
Absolutely. And I tell you, correcting with parenting now. This connects with parenting. Because I tell you, today's maximum problems are because of the parenting, and not because that the parents are not loving the children. Children come to me, they say, yes, we know our parents love us, but they don't understand us. So the parents come to me, the children don't listen to. Children come, the parents don't listen to me. So the only way is that you connect that way. The parents have to have the sandwich principle. The parents have to have that upeksha. I told you about upeksha, overlook. Acceptance with understanding. Accepting the child. The child is one parent came to me. My child is all the time talking about you. Now you call him. I said, what happened? No, he's not studying. I said, what? He's very bad. No, he had good marks, but if he studies more, he can get still got more good, more marks. I said, how do you? I said, okay. Is your child drinking? No. Is your child taking some pan masala? No. Is your child answering you back? No. Is your child smoking? No. Is your child gambling? No. I said, see, you're so lucky. so the point is, well, you're not counting your blessings. You not want. I see, the point is, most important is the correction has to be with connection. How do you do that? There is a lot of research has been done on this. The positive to negative interaction with any of your loved one, whether it is with your husband, whether with your child, it has to be minimum ratio 5:1. Preferably bring it to 6, 7, 8. Preferably. What it means is, in the whole day, you try to have more of positive interactions with your child. How? For example, sometimes you thank the child for something. Oh, you did this for me. Thank you so much. It meant so much to me. And you explain to the child how it helped you. Sometimes you appreciate him for something. Sometimes you remind him, oh, you did that wonderful thing. Remind of him of some challenge that he or she has faced earlier successfully. Sometimes you both of you sit together and remember some beautiful moments. Some gone to a picnic or some and talk about something. Sometimes share a joke. Those are the positive interactions, but more of appreciation, genuine appreciation. Search for the appreciations. And then they should be minimum 5 to 6 to 7. And compared to that, only one negative interaction with your child compared to that. Why? The mind, the brain has got a negative bias. It is wired like that. So the brain, it is I would put it in a way that it is a Teflon. It is a Teflon for all the positives, and it is a Velcro or a Fevicol for all the negatives. Keep that in mind. It is Teflon for all the positives. It is.
Wonderful
it is
analogy.
Yeah. So from Teflon, you have to bring it to Velcro at least. How you do that? By savoring. The word is savoring. You savor the beautiful moments with the child. Savor the challenges he has accomplished. One child came to me in the shivir. She's telling my mother. She told about mother. Huh? My mother is always pointing mistakes, and I took her my report, my school report. She's saying, see, you're committing mistakes. You did not practice well in maths, and so you got so less marks in maths. She's telling, sir, she's seeing my mistakes about not practicing in maths. Okay. But she's not appreciating me for the marks I've got in literature, for the marks I've got in social sciences. She's not even referring to them. But the same thing, suppose you tell the child, I'm so proud of you. Social sciences, or you don't know, in your age, I could not study social science at all. I got very less marks myself, and you got so many marks. Wow. Literature, so much. I'm so fond of literature, and even you are good in literature. You capacity in you. Why don't you use this capacity for maths also? Okay, let us do one thing. See, even I'm weak in maths. I'm not finding fault. but let us try it again and again. Let us sit together. Let us sit together. The child is sure to work and rectify the mistakes. You need to have that communication. It's very important. Very, very important.
Thank you so much, Uncle, for bringing in the examples. I mean, bringing in real life examples which you have encountered. That makes it very clear for us to understand. I would like to move on to the next question. But before that, I had something to say, and it just slipped off my mind. Okay. Okay. So I think I had the next question, how parents can handle children's mistakes, but then I think you covered it already. And I would like to move on to the part in adolescence, because that is the age period we usually tend to disconnect from parents. Until then, because of the control that parents have over children, we usually tend to follow them out of fear. But during the adolescence, we get that energy, and we really want to show that I can handle myself.
Very true. Very true.
Yeah. So and it is also a time period when children of that age are misled. So it is also a difficult period for young children, for that age children, and parents also. To handle them,
very
to see
difficult,
them, because they
very difficult, very difficult.
Yeah, and parents don't want their children to commit the mistake that they have committed in their adolescence.
Yeah, very true.
They
very
know they
true.
have committed, but they don't want their children to commit those mistakes.
Very true. Very true.
So, I think with the sandwich principle, the other technique that you shared, 5:1 principle, he will be able to connect to children much better. Children of any age, for that matter, I believe. Would you like to add another tidbit to have a good relationship with teenage children?
See, it's a very big subject in itself. So I don't think we have got 5 minutes. So I don't think we'll be able to. But I can just give a few pointers. I can give a few pointers.
Yes.
This is the most important, biggest issue today is facing. Because I'm getting so many counseling, children come with their issues, and I'm shocked. I'm really shocked. In the beginning I was. Now I'm literally ready to listen to anything. And it is today's times are actually very bad. And parents also very disturbed. Just yesterday I got a call from a parent who was very, very disturbed. Times are very bad. What we do in our camps, we try to make the children tap into the goodness which is there within them. That is what we try to do. One of the exercises which I make them do is spiritual qualities from Bhagavad Gita, and then make them find which are the qualities you have. So the only way is for the teenager, make him realize the divinity within him, make him realize the goodness within him, make him realize, yes, he has the potential. The times are very bad, I agree. It reminds me of a story, again a story. So there was a footballer, and the footballer was passing through a very lean phase. And then he was, last me, he was making a lot of blunders, and he was, in his words, he was a failure. He's committing a lot of mistakes. And then what he did was he told his coach, I'm not going to play for a few matches, for a few days. He said, okay. And then he shut himself off in his room. Not coming out at all. The coach really loved him. So after 3 days, the coach went inside. What is this? What are you doing? Just getting your food inside, not coming, not meeting anyone. So he saw that fellow was watching the TV all the time, the DVD, some video was going on. So the coach asked, what are you looking at? He said, no, What I'm doing is in the last 10-15 days, whatever matches I've made mistakes. So I am replaying those mistakes and trying to understand where I've done the mistakes. So I can learn, I should not do this, I should not do this, I should not do this. So I'm trying to learn from that so that I don't repeat them. Oh, okay. The coach went out. After some time, he came back with a video, with another video. He said, see, you stop that video and this is the video. Just now is your lunch time. You have your lunch. I'm going. Take your time. Now you're going to watch just this video. That fellow had Shraddha. Without Shraddha, you cannot progress. I tell that for the youth, for the parents. Even I cannot help anyone. Even God cannot help. You need to have Shraddha. That footballer had Shraddha in his guru. The coach was his guru. He said, Guru ne kaha hai. So what he did was, he then put the video on. What was the video all about? The video had all the matches of his previous months and all the snippets where he had done the right passes, the right actions, where he had done perfect. And the coach had told him, you have to see this again and again and again and again. He saw those for 3 days. He came out. I don't have to complete the story. I don't have to. He was most successful again. The parents, the educators, everyone, like you said, beautiful statements you said, connect and correct. You connect by telling them how good they are. Hanumanji was just sitting there, Rameshwaram. Now who will go to Sita? What he will do? Hanumanji did not know his own capabilities. Unko shrap mila tha. Mahatma, when he was small, when he was a young kid, he used to do a lot of naughty things. He used to go in the rishis' havan and he used to disturb them. So they shrap de diya. Unless somebody reminds you of your strengths, you'll always feel yourself to be weak. At Rameshwaram, he said, nobody. Then Jamvant, he tells Hanuman, you are a Pavan Putra. You are Pavan Putra. Bal Buddhi ke Khan. You have a Bal and Buddhi. 2 things we need. Bal. The Bal is the Josh. The Buddhi is the Hosh. It is there in each one of us. But what happens as become teenager? The parents are all the time in a correction mode. The parents are not able to connect. I don't find fault with them also. It's very difficult today. Easily I told you it's not an easy answer. But basically you have to make the teenagers realize the Hanuman is there in them. That goodness is there. They can do. So what we do is we remind them of the challenges they have faced successfully, of the good they have done. Something good they have done. That is important. Psychologists, they try to make you, what wrong has happened to you in your childhood, and no. In our spiritual orientation, we try to remind them what good they have done, what good has happened to them. So this is the only way, and then we give them value. So value education is very important. In schools, colleges, educators have a very big role in this. And the company they keep, parents should have a tab on the company. Parents are complaining all that. They should have a tab. They should call their friends home. You invite your friends home. But it's a very big issue. A lot of relationships and broken relationships and depressions and panic attacks and bad habits. Times are very bad. Mistakes are happening left and right. But we cannot lose hope. This is, according to me, this is the only way out. Make them realize the goodness in them and make them connect to the goodness in them. That is the only way out, according to me.
This reminds me of Ubuntu, where whenever a person in that village commits a mistake, they bring that person to the middle, and everyone of that village surrounds that person and then tells him of the beautiful things that he has ever done in his own life.
Oh my God! Acha! Wow!
Yeah, each person in that village reminds him of the wonderful thing that he has done,
Wow.
and it nourishes him with
Nourishes. That is the word. That is the word.
yeah,
Correct.
and helps him to connect to himself,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then I know many a times I also have once written it, uncle. So many a times we forget who we are, and
Exactly.
it uh,
Exactly.
yeah, and when
Beautiful. Beautiful.
it is
Beautiful.
important to remind ourselves.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, so this
No,
totally
no.
reminds me of that.
No, no. Thank you so much. Beautiful. Beautiful example. Beautiful. Beautiful illustration. That is what we are
uh,
supposed to do in our family. That is
hmm,
what we are
hmm,
supposed to do in our workplace. We need
hmm,
to
hmm,
correct them. We need to tell them where they have gone wrong. But we need to
yeah,
appreciate them also. We need
yeah,
to tell them what they are good at also.
huh.
It was so moving, that girl telling that her mother is not, and she told it so frankly, that
Hmm,
why is
hmm,
my mother not even telling me, not even noticing the marks which are there, good marks in the other
hmm, hmm,
subjects. It's
hmm,
very sad, but that is what parents make mistakes. Comparing their
hmm.
one child to the other child, all these things, very bad. Should not do all that.
Okay, it was it was such a it was almost like a parenting session for me.
No, it is always
uh,
so beautiful connecting to you, because you are so beautiful, a beautiful person from within, from without, so beautiful. It's always a pleasure to connect to you. And you're doing
Thank you so
lovely.
much,
I really
Uncle.
congratulate you. I know you're a wonderful writer, a wonderful thinker, and this is your passion. It's one of the best passions one can have, a divine passion. I'll say it's a divine passion. Keep it up.
Thank you.
Wish you all the
Thank you
best.
so much,
Yeah.
Uncle.
Love and
Yeah.
blessings to you.
And
Yeah.
it was so I mean, I feel so blessed
Yeah.
to be here, to be listening to you again, and
Yeah.
get reminded of those beautiful techniques that you have, taught me,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and all the wonderful things that I got reminded of today, and
Yeah.
many things. I think this
Yeah.
from this from this moment, uh, I feel like I have received Ubuntu.
Oh, so sweet. So wonderful. So wonderful. It's all the grace
Yeah.
of the Guru. I once again offer my pranams, my sastang pranams at the lotus feet of my Guru. So whatever good is it there in me is all because of him, his blessings.
Thank you, Uncle.
Thank you.
I mean, I mean, there's so many things to learn from you. I would just
Yeah.
like to, sum up, if you have 5 minutes.
Yeah, yeah,
I would
sure.
just
I have
like
all
to
the
sum
time.
up,
Sure, sure,
whatever
sure,
that
sure.
I remember so far
Yeah, yeah,
from the conversation we had today. So we talked about mistakes done when are done. How,
yeah,
as a parent or any person, with yourself or with others, how delicately we handle it. And I
yeah,
also remember the beautiful story that you shared. The two different rains
yeah,
falling on the delicate flowers,
yeah, yeah,
and the nudging the potted dust
yeah,
to the
yeah,
pot.
yeah,
Um, and if you um, connect with your child with a lot of love and with the
yeah.
curiosity to learn, uh,
Exactly, exactly.
when these two things are there together, I think it will help us more to connect with the child or any other person, or with oneself.
Exactly. Exactly.
I always believe the other person is just a reflection, or
Yes.
the child is just a reflection of us. So
Absolutely.
when we
Absolutely.
witness a mistake in the other person, um, it is probably that is there within us,
Yeah.
and so the other person is just coming to reflect what
Yeah.
is there inside.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. Yeah.
so it is no, to connect to oneself and to connect to others.
Yeah.
And you also shared about sandwich principle, where
Yeah.
the the lower bread, the first bread is to validate the other person and empathize.
Exactly.
This is also, this I also learned in NBC. So just validate the other person.
Exactly.
And, understand where he comes from.
Yeah, exactly.
And you also share your viewpoint.
Yeah.
Okay, I understand your viewpoint, and this is how I feel. This is how. That connects both of us. That would meet both our needs. So
Very
to come
true.
to a point, my mentor says this. So you are on the other end of the bridge, and that person is on the other end of the bridge. How do we come together?
Exactly. That's most important. And the last, I'm going to say something which is going to give you an idea for a topic later, because you have a one word every time. When you commit mistake yourself, you need to forgive yourself. When others commit mistakes, you need to forgive them. And that forgiveness is a very deep spiritual principle. And it is very difficult. And that is step by step. So when you have the topic forgiveness, we'll talk about that.
Sure. Yeah. We will have it once, definitely.
So I have given you one more word for future.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Forgiveness is a very, very important concept. Very, very important concept. Yeah.
Sure. We will definitely do.
We'll do that. Yeah.
Yeah, and then we talked about the 5-to-1 principle, or not exactly 5. It can go up to 7, 8, 9. But only that many number of appreciation to one point where you are trying to connect to one.
Exactly. That is the most difficult.
Yes. And it is very difficult with the person, that actually challenges you more.
So make it a challenge for yourself, Okay.
With my child, it is very easy. I always very lovingly, I appreciate her, tell her. But when it comes to my husband, I can never do that.
See, you have to have humility. You forgot that. For this, very, very important. Humility. Always keep that in mind. The moment you have humility, moment you keep the ego aside, moment you decide that relationships are much more important than all this trying to decide who is right and who is wrong, you will get all your answers. Believe me, you'll get answers. Just keep yourself aside. Just that. Keep your identity aside for that much minutes. Okay?
Yeah. Now I'm just trying to listen without connecting to the story.
Okay.
So that is kind of helping me.
Exactly.
Putting myself in a third person's shoes and just
exactly listening. That is the point. And one more topic you can have sometime is husband. I'm just joking. How to handle a husband? Are no one better than me to tell you.
It can be a wife also. It can be a wife also. So partner basically.
Yeah. Spouse. Why not? Why? Sure. Wonderful. So it was great. It was a pleasure. Great. Thank you so much.
Great interaction that I had with you.
Thank you.
At this moment, because my child is also learning a lot with these kind of.
Very nice. I'm so happy. I'm just looking forward to meeting Sanyukta. Really, I'm missing her so much. I'm really to tell her Sudhir uncle is missing you. Please tell her.
Definitely, I will tell her. We will sometime.
And please say hello to Varun also.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. All the best to you. All the best to you.
Thank you, Raghav.
Yeah.
Thank you, Abhishri. Thank you,
Yeah.
Akhil.
Okay. They have all joined. Okay. Okay. Very nice.
We will once again meet on a different topic.
Right. Okay. Thank you. Thank you so
Thank you.
much. Yeah. Thank you. Jai Shankar. Jai Shankar.
I'm just closing the video, ending the video. Thank you, Sumi Chechi. Thank you, Shailenjar ji. Thank you, Monica. Thank you, Sandhya. Thank you, everyone who have joined. Yeah. See you once again on another